Hello, this is Mama Jess, everything you wish your mother told you. Excuse my delay in getting videos out. I was on my annual birthday trip and I've had all kinds of car problems. So I've been working on my cars and yeah. Okay, rites of passage number 2. So I already know that a lot of you have dealt with people like this. And this is probably the biggest grief of many young people is you're looking for elders, people who have gone through social rites, have proven themselves to be trustworthy, wise individuals. And then you meet someone like this. I'm just going to give you a little portrait of someone here. So this individual is 80. They eat super well. They dress really nice. They've made a lot of money working very hard. They have property all over California. They go to church every Sunday. They share the gospel Saturday morning. And they're always helping, the widow and orphan in their community. And then some random afternoon, they approach you and say, I feel like I could, I feel safe with you. I feel like I could share something with you and I'd like to share it with you. And then they proceed to say, I like to stick my finger in my butt crack and smell it. And I like how it smells. And at that moment, you're so horrified. You don't know what's happening. You don't know who you're looking at or dealing with. You've lost all trust in this individual. They're 80 years old and they're telling you they like to stick their fingers in their butt and smell their crack. And it's over. You cross that elder right off the list. Why? Because they don't make sense. It doesn't make sense that they're this hardworking and church going and helping people, and then they approach a young woman on a random afternoon and have to tell her something that weird. And then over time, you begin to see this person likes to talk about the molestation stories in their history of their family. I think that's perverted, actually. Right? So I've come up with a list of individuals that I have experienced. As you know, that was one I experienced in my history. But I have a list of people here. So I'm just going to share these personalities. And so it will help you better understand what this rites of passage is about. Then you have the typical female Christian woman, really well put together. Nice hair and nice makeup, and her clothes are nice, and she's got a nice brooch and a nice pretty gold necklace and pretty jewelry, and she's just really bubbly and friendly, and she's a great cook, and she's the pianist at the church. She's really opposed to having excess sugar in the diet. She knows how to take her vitamins and minerals. And then you walk in her house and you look around and you realize this person isn't well. They're mentally ill. There's hardly anywhere to sit down. There's 1,000 undone projects. You find that the majority of the week they're sitting at their computer watching cat videos, dog videos, perverted American Best pics of indecent things. Then you find that they're watching dirty movies, scary horror movies. Well, all of the little Jesus, quotes are all over the walls, and there's old Bibles from family before. And you're starting to think this don't make any sense. This person doesn't make sense. What? And in the midst of their eating well and saying, no, I'm not going to have that kind of Chinese food because there's too much sugar, you find that they're hoarding, what is it called when you go, the big pink fluffy cotton candy. They have cotton candy machines hiding in the closet. They've got snow cone machines hiding in the closet. You find that they're obsessed with making sugary things. And you just keep thinking this person doesn't make sense. Something's not right here. this is wrong. And you begin to, like, you really feel like it's time to axe this person. Like, no, you are not someone that I want to seek counsel from. Then you got the big fat guy. He's like 300 pounds and he falls down all the time. His body is crushing the weight of his bones. He's been eating poorly for years, but he knows everything about the Christian church. He's adamant that he's right about his doctrine. He fights you on it all the time, and he tells you how to eat right. This big, massive man that falls down by the weight of his own body is telling you how to eat right. He knows everything. And so you realize, like, this is yet another casualty of an elder. So much talent, so skilled in so many things. And yet they don't make sense. Their life doesn't make sense. I guess you could call it hypocrisy. You're this massive and your health is failing, but you're quick to tell everybody how to eat properly. Like, you're not sound. And you've lost all credibility, especially with the younger people. Then you have the highly talented, highly skilled men or women who have been in AA for a long time. And they have become sponsors. People seek them out for all their wisdom. And yet you find it interesting that when they speak, they're not telling the truth. They're not telling the truth of their behavior in the past. So they have been rewriting history, changing the narrative, falsely accusing people. Everyone's story around this AA individual knows that this individual was very abusive and still is, that they're not sound. And yet, this AA guru, they've got their sponsors or their sponsees, and they're always telling everyone how to live. And you lose heart because this individual is so far gone in their delusion, they think they're good. And they have not healed the relationships in their life. They have not made amends like they're supposed to. And yet they're right. And if you cross them, you know what you're up against. It's a prickly old porcupine. And they're going to make sure they destroy you because they have got a lot to lose if they're found out for being a fraud. So we might call them a dry drunk, but we know ultimately that they're a hypocrite, that they're not well. They act like they're well. They talk like they're well. They teach like they're well. They think they're in a position to actually help someone else out of their addiction. But this individual is a complete wreck, and they don't make sense. Then you have a conservative lady, a podcaster, which I just saw yesterday, and I wanted to add her to the list. She had all these United States flags in the back. She was clearly a conservative, talking about how insane the transgender individuals are. And what she was saying was like, it really seems spot on that it's not appropriate to have a guy in lingerie dancing at an elementary school for kids. Now, I don't focus so much on the trans people as having the problem as the parents who take the kids there. Okay, the parents got the problem because we could all shut this trans drag thing down in one day by just not attending. But people are going for the entertainment or whatever perversions they have. So anyway, this lady was making a really great point, talking about how perverted this is, and don't we all know that this needs to stop? It's just not appropriate. It's not appropriate. It's not appropriate. And she says, well, you know, I like to go to bars and watch the drag, but it's not appropriate for kids. And at that, like, I was ready to subscribe, like, this lady's awesome. And then she has to tell the whole world that she likes to go to these drag bars and watch this and how that's okay, but that the children shouldn't be watching it. And I was like, there's it, that's it. Acts again, like cancel that. I'm not wanting that kind of confusion in my life. This woman should be telling the kids it's not okay for you to see this, and it's not okay for anybody to see it. Like most of everything that I say is that this isn't right for the kids, and it's not right for me, and it's not right for anybody. Of course, I have talked about certain adult themed situations like heavy documentaries that the kids aren't ready for, and adults have moved into that capability of handling that degree of truth. But otherwise, I don't think any of these standard perverted adult themes and all the pornography is completely useless, and it shouldn't even be in the world at all. Just cancel all that. But it continues because people watch it. So we like to blame the people who make it, but it's only the people who watch it that keep it going. Because we, again, could shut it down in a day by just not doing it. So anyway, I was very disappointed with this woman because she just seemed to be such an upstanding, really well-spoken conservative lady. But she likes to go watch drag. And I was like, that's enough. She's promoting and perpetuating, rather, this horrific, bizarre thing that it should not be in the public sphere. We don't need to see this stuff. Another personality, an elderly man in his 90s, just got out of serious surgery and can hardly walk, needs all kinds of care, and I'm in a position of caring for this individual. And I always want to honor vets. You know, he was in the Navy and has a lot of wisdom, had a lot of stories, a really nice guy. He still believed that he was going to be able to get back into running. He didn't realize the severity of what was going on with his health. We were just hoping he would stay alive, and he wanted to get running again. And I know it can be difficult to get back into reality for the first time when you go through a really radical change, especially with your health. You're just not accustomed to the difference in your body and what it's capable of. And so I found that I really enjoyed talking with this person, and I wanted to ask them questions about life. And then these are the kinds of things that you need to not do, because this blows people away. So at one point, I needed to help get him, taking care of hygiene. And he just looked at me like, would you like to take a shower with me? And then it was over. I had to tell the woman in charge, like, this is what happened. And she was horrified, of course, because we all know it's totally crazy and indecent and wrong to do that. Some might say, well, they're older and they don't know what they're talking about. Like, it's wrong. It's immoral. It's perverted. It's scary. So don't do that. So yet this is another individual, a veteran of the United States of America, hard worker, of course, crazy hoarder, which was a huge problem that I had to help clean up, which was a big part of the inconsistency as well. But if you go and say something like that, and you violate that social boundary of appropriateness, it's over. You lose credibility. At your age, you should know better. And that is why this country is full of old babies that are completely ill-equipped to be elders in this country. Why did you not learn not to do this? Did no one tell you that this is not okay to talk like this? You don't say stuff like this because you scare women, especially. So you need to make sense. A lot of us young people, we want to honor the elders in our life, but when you go and do something like that, now you're on the pervert list. And once you get on there, you're pretty much over. Your reputation is shot. So rites of passage number 2. I'm sure I could have led up to quite a few other different rites of passage. I start with organizing things like a kindergartner, and now I'm telling you, in your older years, you need to make sense or else people are going to write you off immediately. You're not equipped to be an elder if you are this incongruent and inconsistent in your behavior. It's hypocritical and it's annoying to people. And even if you have this whole list of pros and amazing things, and you've got these big whammies on the con side, people don't want to listen to you. You're bizarre. You don't make any sense. You're mentally ill. We're looking for people who are consistently sane. You might lack information. There's a lot of new information coming out. We realize we've been lied to on many fronts. But when it's your behavior that's so whacked, if you're so heavy and you're telling people how to eat right, but you fall down and they have to call the firefighters to come and pick you up, you're not equipped to talk about how to eat properly. Just because you know it doesn't mean you're actually living it. And again, if you don't have results, you've lost credibility. So the young people need someone who's consistent. They're looking for elders who are consistent, who have gone through the rites of passage. To get to a place of elderhood, you have to prove that you're consistent time and year after year, again and again and again. Then you're ready to be someone that we seek after for wisdom. But until then, you're not sane. You're a hypocrite. You don't make sense. And you're bringing more confusion. And sadly, people aren't going to want to be around you. So it's really important you assess your life for madness. Take a look at yourself at every age right now, because I trust I'm talking with a lot of older people, at least 20 plus, that we all need to take a look at our life and realize, where are we not sound? Where are we not consistent? We want other people to be consistent, but are we? We want other people to make sense, but do we make sense? Do our lives make sense? As far as I can tell, most Americans talk like they know everything and they never want to be corrected, but they don't have the results. Just like these AA individuals who are still dry drunks after 15 years, 20, 40 years. They're angry, irritable, discontent, harsh. They don't get along. They're controlling. They've not made amends to the people in their life. And they actually are, they're verging on complete madness because they've entered into the realm of unreality of creating a narrative of how they were with their wife or their husband and their children that's completely backwards. They'll say how much they love their spouse, like, no, you didn't, actually. That's why the marriage ended, because you had an affair. Oh, well, the government is breaking the family apart, and that's why there's so many affairs. Oh, really? Okay, that doesn't make sense. If you talk about God and you talk about our personal responsibility, but whenever you do something really dark and awful and devastating to an entire family and community, now it's not your fault. Like, you don't make sense. So rites of passage number 2, you need to make sense in order to move into that seat of authority, that seat of honor as an elder in our country. All right, thank you for your time, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.